TGF Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in this live stream. It's a beautiful day in Kagawa here. Like I'm, broadcasting from Kagawa, Japan, like Yamada headquarters. It's a beautiful day here. Wish you guys were here too. So yeah, Kagawa. We're talking about this is the home of Sanuki Udon, which is the most popular, most famous type of udon in the world. Definitely, I mean, literally, right? We have about like around like 500, individual shops. Like there are unique, serving like unique udon noodles here, right? Individual shops, unique shops, right? So it's very. I promise you guys, like you'll definitely have like very unique experiences, like by visiting Kagawa. Going from udon shop to udon shop. We actually have a taxi dedicated to this udon tour, right? So this taxi would take you like probably in the morning, right, from udon shop, like probably 6 to 7 of them, right, on the whole day. So um, it's a some people call, I mean, udon prefecture basically. Definitely you'll have a very good experience, right? So um, what we are doing today is like the walk you guys through how you can make authentic, fresh udon noodles from scratch, right? Using our Shinuchi machine. That's a udon machine, like all-in-one udon machine. That's actually the best-selling udon machine in the world, right? So we've been selling it like for across the world, right? I mean, we've been exporting to over 66 countries. So this is the best udon machine like you'll ever see in your life. And then udon that you can make on this machine like are awesome, delicious. So I hope you guys can visit, right, us like Yamada HQ in Kagawa, and then try out the best udon noodles that you eat in your life, right? So we have udon machine, Shinuchi. This one is all-in-one machine, and then it's got a mixer, it's got a press unit, and then it's got roller unit, and then cutter unit. So it's got everything, right? This is something that this is all you need to start making your own noodles. Um, so, right, so let's get started to make authentic udon noodle. So this is the mixer, right? This is a 12.5 kilo mixer. The reason why it's a 12.5 kilo is that like in Japan, right? The one bag of flour is 25 kilograms. Then it's just half of it, right? Half of it. So what we do is that like we put this udon flour, right, in the mixer, and then start mixing, right? So basically, just with the flour, you just want to rotate it and then just kind of stir, and then like kind of like put some air in it, in the flours, right? And while we are mixing the flour, right? So maybe like I'm mixing dissolving the salt in the water, because flour. I mean, udon noodles like use a lot of salt. It's crazy amount of salt. You know, we are making like 12 to 15% salty level, salty level of water, right? It's salt water basically, and then we add like vinegar too, like 1% to the weight of the flour and vinegar in the water, right? So we make this solution. So basically, very salty water. 12 to 15% salty level water. It's very salty. So we add this solution right onto the lid, right? And this mixing lid has like these small holes, right, that allows this salt water to the flour, right? So basically, it allows the hydration, good hydration dough, right? And the total mixing time is just 5 minutes, for udon noodles. So basically, higher the hydration, the shorter the mixing time. And then, so the salt helps like tighten the gluten, right? Gluten in the flour dough, right? And then, you know, but so to show you guys the every single process, so she prepared the dough right in advance, to show you guys the press machine, press unit. This is the dough, right? That just came out. Came out, and then we want to rest it, right? After mixing, like we rest the dough, right? Rest the dough like at 28 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. So it's done already, and then we're gonna press it, right? So in Kagawa, in the old days, it was like there are still some shops that still do it, but like how we press the dough, right? How we walk the dough is to step on the dough, right, with the feet, and of course, like there's some cover over the dough to protect it from the feet, but like but basically that's how we do it, like. But it's a very high, labor intensive work, because you're gonna be stepping on the dough, right, for like 30 minutes, like an hour, right? So it's a very high intensive labor, work, right? That you have to do, and then you fold it, right? You fold it to make sure that like every single, all the area of the dough like get walked up, right? Pressed and walked, and yeah. So all days, right? Well, I think we still have like some of those shops like doing this by their feet, right? So it's a lot of work, but like, so we can use this press machine to do this work, and so the pressure, right, that's applied to the dough is like very high, like it's like 2 tons of pressure, that's pressing this dough, right, on the top of the press, right? So again, like we fold it again, like, and then you maybe like notice that like the dough is like getting kind of like cleaner, right, smoother as we press. So this is the third time. So as we press and fold, right, so we are basically making the some layers in the dough, right? So these layers, like is very important, right, in forming the very good noodle texture, a chewy noodle texture that we experience like when biting into udon noodles. So we fold it again, and then you maybe will notice that like it's kind of getting tougher, right? Kind of bouncier. So like maybe it's kind of getting a little bit started kind of struggling a little bit to fold it. So it's kind of like the same thing as like walking your muscle, right? Kind of developing your muscle, so that like it's almost like equivalent to like kind of getting your muscle like pumped up, right? By pressing the dough. So the dough is like gaining some muscle through this process, right? That's why it's kind of getting bouncier, right? And then so maybe kind of starting to start struggling to like fold it, right? So this is the last one. Yeah, so we're cutting it, and then yeah, we're dividing it, right? Because we're dividing it to pieces that are small enough, right? See the layers, right? Um, See the cut surface that like that you see the layers, right? So these layers like are going to be the you know part of the udon texture. That's like what makes the udon texture like very good, right? And then so we cut it, right? Yeah, we divide on the pieces. They're small enough for us to be able to like work and thin, right? And so these pieces are going to be stored in a resting cabinet again, but like this time around, like that's and the temperature is going to be 18 degrees Celsius, and then we're going to rest them for overnight, and make sure that there's no air. I mean you try to get rid of it as much as possible, and then like um, yeah we'll close it, and then yeah, we're gonna put it in a resting cabinet, and then that's set to 18 degrees Celsius. And so we're going to, um, you know, thin it and then cut it tomorrow, right? Yeah. So you know, luckily we have a dough that we prepared yesterday, so that we can start thinning now. So this dough, these pieces of dough, like we made yesterday, and that just we just took them out like of a resting cabinet, um, you know now, right? And then so we take these two pieces of dough, right? Then we're going to flatten them. So we want a two pieces of dough, right? Instead of one, so that like if you press it like just one piece of dough, right? And then it's it's too much pressure, right? And then like we flatten them like too much, and then so make sure that you have like all this like dusting powder, right? So that like these pieces are not gonna stack together and become one dough, right? So make sure that you have a lot of dusting powder on the dough before pressing. Yeah, so we have So we have flatten the dough, and then okay, yeah, they didn't, yeah, they didn't get stuck together. So now it's, you know, thin enough to be able to like go through this like safety bar that, you know, keeps your hand from like getting injured, right? Getting, you know, getting into the roller, right? So and then we're thinning it like gradually, right, to prevent the gluten from, you know, getting damaged, right? So we gradually thin it, you know, one by one, like well, like each round of thinning. So you see this, gear kind of almost like um, shift gear in like, you know, in the car, right? So gradually, like we are thinning, right, and you know, we are narrowing the roller gap each time we like we, you know, shift it up. And yeah, notice like, you know, maybe it's like and changing the direction of the dough like going in, right? So that like we are working the dough right in this way again as well, like, so, you know, multi-directional, like we're kind of like so developing the muscle again, right, on, you know, different directions. So, you know, this dough or noodle are going to be, you know, strong, like, you know, on different directions. And then you notice that like there's a number that's changing over there, right? This number changing over here, right? So that's the thickness of the dough, right? And then that's measuring the dough's thickness so that you know, you don't have to like measure it with the caliper or something like each time. So so Sanuki udon noodles is like usually like, you know, thickness wise, like it's like 3 millimeter by 5 millimeter width, right? So, you know, make sure so this noodle size is very important in, you know, creating this unique noodle texture. So you know, you want to do that. You want to like kind of make sure that like um, it's this size, right? 3 by 5, and then so that like you know, because when you cooking noodles, right? The noodle cooking water like, you know, penetrate the noodles like through the through the like cut surface, right? So cut surface, and then, you know, the noodles like get like, well, squeeze up like from the side of the, you know, from the side, right? Cut surface. So then, you know, this rectangular shape like 3 by 5 like kind of gets squished like from the sides, and then, you know, gets it gets almost like squared in the process of cooking, through a process of cooking. So yeah, that's why we want to have this noodle size like, you know, 3 by 5 rectangular shape. Okay, so we're cutting it, right? So this cutter, the cutter is just you know, going up and down, right? But like the speed of the conveyor is the what is controlling the, you know, width of the noodles. So, you know, you can change the width by changing the conveyor speed, and then this tray that's moving side to side is collecting the, you know, noodle strands, right, that are being dropped, you know, from above, right? Then so this is another function that's kind of collecting the noodle strands, and then, you know, noodles are, yeah, beautifully lined up on this tray. And so yeah, so we have beautiful authentic Sanoki udon noodles. And make sure like you dust them well before placing them in the into container. And kind of comb them through, right? Make them straight. Yeah, just comb them through, make them straight, and then place them onto the container. Yeah, there are a few like noodle strands that are like too short or something, like, and then you may want to remove them like this point. So okay, so and then we once you cut them right, like you want to like start cooking them like as soon as you can. So because otherwise like noodles are gonna get like dried, and they're like the quality of udon noodles are not gonna be like as good, right? So it's freshly cut and then freshly cooked. You know, but if you're not like so usually like in udon shop, like you have um, yeah, you have this machine right inside the restaurant, and then you cut it, and then you cook them, and then serve them right away. And then once you cook them, you don't want to yeah, leave them like for more than longer than 15 minutes. Otherwise, the noodle texture is not going to be as good, right? So some shops have like policy or rule that like they throw them away after 15 minutes, and then they just keep constantly cooking, cutting and cooking and cutting and serving, right? So so it's very important that you have very good noodle cooker, suitable noodle cooker as well. And then so as you saw, it requires just 1 day, right, to prepare the dough, right, in advance. So um, if you are scaling your udon shop, right, and then so you have like, for example, like central kitchen somewhere like where you make like all this dough, right, and then everything else, right, and then you distribute this dough to like each outlet, and then so in that case you have um, this lower unit, right, mixer, press machine at your central kitchen, right? Probably bigger capacity, bigger ones, but like each outlet, right? You may have refrigerator, like a resting cabinet, right? Probably you know um, like a lower unit, as a lower unit, right? And so you have like this upper unit, right, at each outlet, and then so you can, whenever you have customer, like you can thin it and then cut it, and then cook it and serve them. So that's the kind of setup that we recommend, that to ensure that like the best quality possible, like but you want to make it more efficient, right, rather than having like each of these machines at each outlet, like making everything from scratch in each outlet. You can have dough made at the central kitchen, and then deliver them on a daily basis, right, at each outlet, where you cut it and then cook them and serve them, right? So so that's the sort of the best setup that like we recommend, right? So yeah, Sankey don't like being like very very successful. I mean, getting very popular across the world, thanks to expansion of such business as like Marugame Udon, right? Marugame Udon has they have over like maybe 700 shops all over the world, right? So they've been very successful, and they're like promoting you know udon noodles, Sanuki udon noodles culture, cuisines. And then, in fact, the name Marugame, right? They took it from the city called Marugame, actually, this prefecture. Actually, that's where I live too. But but so they started like Marugame Udon, right? Using this name, right? Because it sounded like, sounded like Sanuki Udon, right? But they went for public, and then it's yeah. So um, they start like kind of associating themselves with this city, and then but yeah. Well, I can talk about like probably some other time, but like so Sanuki Udon is like very, it's probably potentially the second third wave of like Japanese cuisine, Japanese food, like that's gonna after sushi and ramen, right? I'm sure like yeah, in like 3 to 5 years, like there are so many udon shops in your town as well. So I think I think it's best timing for you to like start taking on this Sanuki udon noodle business, right? And then Shinuchi is like probably the best option you have, um, you know, because it's proven tool that like so many businesses are like recruiting, I mean deploying, right, this machine for the businesses across the world. So please think about it. And then before we go, right, I want to announce something to you guys. So if you guys can visit, right, Kagawa, then we can cook these noodles, right, and then let you guys try them out, right? But like in this kind of live stream, like it's very hard to do that, right? But please consider coming to our headquarters in Kagawa, right, Japan, and then where you can experience like best udon noodles in the world, and then like the best Sanuki udon in the world. So, but if you are watching from United States, right? So we have a showroom in Houston, Texas, and and then we have special workshop coming up like next week, like 22nd, 23rd, where you can try out like udon noodles. You can learn how to make udon noodles from scratch, right? So please consider yeah, those are coming, right? And then someone asks us like, can you share like all these recipes like dashi and Excel lab, right? Yeah, we have a online workshop, I mean online school, online school.yamatonoodle.com. That's where you may be able to like find such resources, right? And then we have, of course, like udon school, right? We offer udon school in Kagawa and in Tokyo, in the Shinagawa district. So, please check out our website, yamatonoodle.com or yamatomfc.com. And then in June 19th and 20th, right, like we have, special guests coming to join us, like for the event, special event, like Mr. Hattori. He's a successful ramen chef, right? And they also graduate from our ramen school from Nagoya, Japan. And then, so, there are so many things like you can learn from this professional ramen chef, right? Who's been successful running, 4 different brands of ramen shops. Like, he survived, COVID. That's the sign of strength that, you can get and then learn from this guy. And then, for those of you who are watching from Europe, right, we have a special workshop coming up in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and 27th, and then again like June 10th and 11th, right? We also have a special guest coming, right? Another ramen chef from Japan, and then he's a successful ramen chef, like who's been successful running, his ramen shop in Tokyo for 5 years or so. And then the evaluation site like platform like kind of equivalent to like a Yelp.com. So he got like really high score, like 3.9, which puts his shop in like maybe top 30 in Tokyo, right? So this guy is coming, right, to Amsterdam. So lastly, right, so we have a special container deal going on like this month, right? You can get a metal noodle machine delivered now, right, with the lower shipping from Japan. So like we ship everything, right? We manufacture everything here in Kagawa, right? We have a factory here. So we ship everything, from Japan to elsewhere in the world. But like for US, right, especially for the United States and Europe, right? So we ship everything now, 5 or 6 units of machines like in container, so we can minimize the shipping costs, right? So you can save as much as like 10%, like such machines like which mean gold 2 or 25 silky mixture, and also like of course Shinuchi as well. So if you are interested in like this kind of deal, like please contact us, right? Like of course like limited number of units available, so like first come first serve basis. So yeah, please think about and then contact us for more information. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we have, right? But as always, like if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And then if you like this kind of content, like please hit the like button, right? And then we hope to see you back in the next workshop. I mean live stream next week. We haven't decided what to do next week. So if you have something you want to learn, please send us an email or something to let us know like what you're interested in learning from us, right? So thank you so much, and then we hope to see you back in the next live stream. So thank you so much. Bye bye.
はい、ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
はい。
なんかレシピ教えてくださいって言ってましたね。
そうですね。